Like many of you, we battled depression during life's ups and downs.
Music has always been the one thing that we could rely on to get us through the tough times that we all face.
Follow us on our journey as we discuss the healing power of music,
Interview bands,
break down genres,
review band biographies,
and more.
This is the When Words Fail
Music Speaks podcast
with Blake Mosley
and James Cox. Hey everybody, this is James Cox, your handicapped host on When Words Fail Music Speaks podcast. Today we have Christine DeMeo. So she has been a singer-songwriter since the age of 15. She performed at clubs, weddings, private and corporate events, and wherever else the road may lead her. She really loves any opportunity to play and sing. Her main goal is to ensure that she provides the diversified shows tailored to suit each client needs and desires. In order to achieve this, she is constantly learning new cover songs from all genres, including funk, R&B, country, pop, and rock. She also plays a lot of original music, but she understands that people often want to hear tunes that they know and love. So, ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. Christine DeMeo. Hey, Christine, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing, James?
Very, very good. It's so good to meet you now because I know on my buddy's YouTube channel I don't think we saw each other, did we? I can't remember.
No, I didn't see you actually at all.
Yeah.
It was just a real quick thing. It felt like so.
Yeah.
Didn't get a chance to meet, but we're meeting now, so that's all that matters.
That's it. That's all that matters, right? So how are you holding up in this pandemic? Because I know that's like a redundant question for all musicians, but I'm very interested in how y'all are doing.
Let's talk about that actually.
Okay.
When the pandemic first hit, I honestly didn't think it was going to be a big deal.
Right.
Everybody all of a sudden started talking about the spread of the coronavirus, and I'm just thinking, oh, it's just going to be like the flu and yada yada yada. Well, then all of a sudden, I went from having a full slammed packed calendar all from March all the way till I believe July, September almost. All my dates were just really packed full, and I was really counting on that money because this is what I do for a living. I don't work a regular job or nothing. So when that happened and all of a sudden all my gigs started getting canceled, I just lost my mind, to be honest with you.
No, yeah.
Man, what is going on? I can't believe this. And I sat around I probably sat around for about a month and just didn't do a damn thing. There was nothing to do. All we could do was stay home. And so I was on Facebook and Instagram, mainly Facebook, and I was doing some Facebook Lives, just trying to see if people wanted to tip so that I could make some money to pay my bills. And I'll be really honest with you. I sat around for a month and wasn't making any, I made a couple bucks off of, the Facebook Lives, but nothing, it wasn't enough to pay my bills. So I went and worked a job. I got a job, and that's the first time I've had a job in quite a few years. I've been doing this. So I've been self-employed for at least 5 or 6 years. So It was weird.
Yeah.
Just a weird time. I had to get a job, and I just worked so that I could put, money towards bills and feed my family.
Yeah. Because it was really weird because I don't know if you heard of the H1N1 virus, but I've never heard of that. Apparently, that was during Barack's time as president. I never even heard of it. So it was totally weird when this COVID-19 just struck the whole world, because I'm like, this is gonna fly by. It's the basic flu. Everybody's So yeah, I guess it surprised us all. Yeah. So
yeah, I didn't expect it to be at the level that it was. Obviously, none of us did. A lot of my musician buddies, luckily for me, I had a pretty good savings account, set up because I was in the process of saving money to build the studio that I'm in right now. Sorry if
Right.
it's a little bit of a mess if you can see it,
Oh,
but
it's fine. Yeah,
uh,
it's totally fine.
practices and shooting videos for people. It's just been real hectic. So, but yeah, so I was able to live off of some savings for a little while, but I kind of was just at a point where I said, things aren't opening up, and I need to work so that I don't just blow through this money, so that I can still build this thing when it's all over.
Right.
So, you do what you got to do, and I worked, and I'm very grateful. I'm booked. I'm playing
Nice.
music right now. As
Yeah.
soon as they could open things up here in the South, I was the first call, so it was great to get gigs and be able to work.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I see more and more musical bands get gigs and start releasing their tour dates and everything. So and with the vaccine coming out, I think that we're going to be able to go out and support live music within like 6 to 7 months. But I'm not sure because I'm not a doctor.
Yeah. Well, I will say, I don't know what it's like where you're at, but here in Arkansas, um, they have lifted the 11 o'clock mandate, and I don't think that masks are actually required.
Mhm.
Um, which I wish they were still required. I
Yeah.
played a gig here just this past weekend, and I will tell you that it was packed. It was standing
Nice.
room only,
Right.
and it was a blast, but I was it made me a little nervous, just to be honest. I wore my mask on when I got on breaks and stuff, and when I was walking around I wore a mask everywhere, just
Right.
because I know that only protects me a certain amount, but
Right.
any amount is better than no protection at all. So,
That is true.
but you do the best you can, carry hand sanitizer in your gig bag, and just kind of roll with it. And it's
There we
really all
go.
I can do.
Yeah. I know one thing that kept me sane through this time with virtual concerts. So I've been to
Oh
two of
yeah.
them. You call them been to. I watched them. They were Avatar and Demon Hunter. Was there
Oh
any?
cool.
Yeah. Was there any virtual concerts that you saw?
Oh man, I'm old school, but I had a couple of concerts that I actually recorded on my DVR from this channel. I think it's called like Access TV, something like that.
Mhm.
And they do live concerts with different artists. And I recorded one of Hall and Oates. And then I love this. Actually, Daryl Hall from Hall and Oates does a show called Live at Daryl's House. And
Okay.
so
Yeah.
I watched a couple of those, and then my buddies that were doing Facebook lives, I watched their Facebook lives. Just tried to show support to everybody that was trying to make it through at the time.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard nowadays. So you live in Hot Springs, Arizona. Am I correct?
It's Hot Springs, Arkansas, actually.
Arkansas.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry. Arkansas. Okay.
No, you're cool. A lot of people do that, actually.
Right, yeah, right. Yeah. Okay. So if I was to visit Hot Springs, what's the first place you should tell me that I should check out? For anybody who wants
Hmm.
to visit, not you, but to visit the state and like, okay, well, this was kind of cool.
Well, if music were completely open back up everywhere, one of the really poppin' spots that a lot of tourists go to is called the Ohio Club.
Okay.
And I used to play there every Tuesday for the past 5 years. It's the oldest bar in Arkansas, and it's just a really cool surrounding. They've got great burgers, great drinks. Now, as far as like other artists to go see, there's so many good ones out here. It's so hard to. I could go through a list: Brian Ramsey, Josh Stewart, Dean Agus. You know, um, there's just a lot. Brian Mullen, and I mean these are great artists. Some are
Right.
country, some are pop, some are rock. So there's a good selection here.
Yeah. It sounds like a really good time. So I keep up with you on your Facebook account, and there's one place called the Big Chill.
Yeah.
uh,
Mhm.
that you normally play a lot. So how often you play there, and what's your atmosphere like?
Well, I can't say that I've been playing there a lot lately, but
Okay.
I played there this past weekend, and they are so cool. I actually got my start playing off there. That was like my first real bar gig. I'd never played in the
Yeah.
bars before.
Right.
Um, Gina, the owner, is just a real strong, like, power force. She's cool. She owns the bar. She saw me play at some open mic night and gave me a chance there. But it's just they're kind of known for getting really good, diverse live music,
Mhm.
and it's a fun place to go. I don't mean this in a bad way, but it's like just your neighborhood dive bar, but it's like not a dive bar. It's
Right.
nice,
Yeah.
and all the locals will go there and hang out because it's just kind of like your friendly neighborhood Cheers. Everybody knows your name there, so
Right. That's
it's a
awesome.
cool spot. They've got like an upstairs where they do the live music, and they
Mhm.
actually have a separate smoking room where they'll still have the music going through to the smoking room, and then
Right.
downstairs they have like a game room where they have like pool tables and darts and another bar. So it's a cool little spot. It's been a great
Nice.
spot throughout the years to play.
Yeah. Because that's how without having multiple floors, that reminds me of a place in Atlanta. I think it's called the Masquerade, where they have three levels, and each level is
Yeah.
like the top floors are like heaven and purgatory and hell, and 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 most bands play at the lower level, hell, But
Yeah.
yeah, that place is really cool too. So everybody go check out the Big Chill and Arkansas. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
it's super
Uh-huh.
cool.
Right. Um, so being a musician, I understand that many musicians like different projects of music stuff. Um, so what brand of guitar do you have, and what all musical projects do you endorse?
Oh gosh. I mean, I'm pretty exclusively like a Taylor girl. I
Okay.
play Taylor guitars.
Hey, I
Um,
heard those are some of the best guitars ever.
yeah, I really like them. If I could afford it right now, I'd probably buy a Martin also just cuz I like them too.
Right,
But all three of my gigging guitars that I play that are like acoustic, I own a 514 CE Taylor. I've got a 716 CE Taylor, and I've got a Taylor T5Z Pro. Now the T5Z Pro is a hybrid guitar, and I love it. If you're a solo acoustic act and you're playing, let's say, anywhere from 2+ hours a night, it's when you're got your arm around an acoustic guitar, your shoulder for 3 or 4 hours is gonna start to hurt.
yeah.
Um, and with this guitar, it's so thin. It feels like the body of an electric guitar,
Oh,
and it
nice.
plays like an electric guitar.
Ooh, right
Yeah,
on,
it's
yeah.
really cool. But see, you can get these really full body acoustic sounds with it, and it also has a pickup in it where you can get that gritty electric guitar sound. That's like I said, they call it a hybrid guitar, and I love it because I do all kinds of genres of music, and so it's able to speak to all those types of musics that I play, and
Right,
it registers very well, and I just really like that a lot. Like I said, it's made my life like physically so much easier because it's so much easier to play. My hands don't cramp anymore.
right,
My shoulder doesn't hurt from having this big body, my arm around this big body and everything. But yeah, I'd say, and then I've got a telly, I've got a Fender telly that I've had for quite a
nice.
long time. I am a telly girl.
Yeah,
It's
those are always
Yeah, Fender's got, obviously great stuff. I don't play a lot of electric um very often as far as like just lead and stuff, so that's why I play my hybrid all the time.
mhm,
But it's a great guitar, and whenever I do play with a band, I'll usually bust that one out.
yeah,
But definitely Taylors are my main go-to. And with I'm not sure if you're familiar, but I'm a looping artist.
Yes.
So I do
Yeah.
like the live looping and stuff, and I love my Boss RC300 pedal, and I'm just able to loop all day on that thing. So those are some of my favorite pieces of gear.
Well, that's funny. You should mention your looper because my co-host couldn't be here today, so he sent me questions to ask you if you don't mind for a minute. His first
Sure.
question was it difficult to learn how to use the looping technique?
You know,
Because it's
I
kind of
wouldn't
hard.
say it's difficult.
Okay.
I wouldn't say it was difficult. I would honestly tell you that it was intimidating. It's intimidating because if you mess up, everybody's gonna know it, and it's hard to recover.
Yeah.
So, I started off kind of small, and I worked my way up to the big RC300. I started off with the RC3. It's just
Hmm.
a one single. Actually, before that, I started with the Ditto looper, and it's literally just like a one button looper. I started with
Right.
that, and every now and then it shows I would loop, a chord progression, and then I would, solo or whatever over it, and then I started looking up different artists that would play with loopers, and it became, I think, once you can kind of wrap your head around how to loop and how the best way to loop quickly is, I
Right.
think once you kind of figure that out, it gets easier. Because there is a remedy to it. There is, a thought process of, okay, how am I going to build this song quickly and get to it. um and I like I said, I guess some people would register that as difficult, but for me, it was just more like, oh, that's scary. If I mess up, everybody's gonna know. So
Right.
I didn't go out and play with a looper probably for about 2 months until I figured out a few songs solid.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Because it loops for you. So whatever you do before you hit record or after you hit record or stop it plays you back what you played. Right. That's how it
Hmm.
works. Yeah. Yeah. So if you mess up one time, you're like, oh my god. Yeah. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
don't.
And
So.
everybody will hear it, and then you're like, "Oh, man, I
Oh.
gotta just stop." Now it happens every once in a while. Now, I'll have a moment where I'll screw up, but I've been using the looper so much that I'm able to recover, and usually nobody will know.
Right.
But,
Except for you.
it's a real useful tool. Yeah, exactly, except for me.
Yeah.
I encourage people, if they're interested, to just give it a try, but don't use it at a show until you feel comfortable, until you have a couple of songs where you're like, okay, I got these songs down, I can do this.
Right. Right. So his second question is, where did you first see the loop technique being used? Was there like
That's
the first time ever you were like, oh, I gotta get me one of those?
oh man, that's hard to think
What's
back.
the Because the
I
first time
can't
I
really
saw it
think of
was my friend is a bassist, and when he was trying all these different stuff, and he brought one of those loopers to my house. He says, "Check this
it.
out." I was literally like mind blown. I'm like, "What?" I was amazed. Yeah.
I actually had a boyfriend years ago that bought me the RC30, and I tried using it back then. I just couldn't get into it. I mean, this was like 10 plus years ago. It was just too much for me at my musical. It's funny, in your musical journey, a piece of equipment might be too much for you at the beginning, but once you kind of go further along and realize how gear works, now that when I bought the RC30 again, like when I bought it this time, like I knew how to use it. I watched a ton. Now, before I buy something, I will tell you right now, before I
Mhm.
buy a piece of gear, I will research the crap out of it
That's exactly
and
what I.
how it
Yeah.
works,
Yeah.
you know? Um, so I would say that was the first time that I really was introduced to a looper, was when it was given to me as a gift. And then I got rid of it. Years went by, and then I was like, I need to do the looper thing again. So I just started watching a ton of videos. There's this one guy, and I'm not sure if I'm saying his name correctly, but I think his name is Michael Evotis.
Okay.
But just like a crazy, he's amazing. He's a master. He's like a master looper. And I saw him doing it and I was like, I gotta learn how to do that. I gotta learn how to do that on some level. I don't care if it's at the level that he's doing it, but I gotta learn how to do it at some level.
I gotta
So
figure that out. Yeah, it's always good.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
and it's also good to explore new things, because once you're like, oh, I can do this now. This is awesome.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely a useful tool, and I've enjoyed diving into it. And I'm still learning new stuff about that pedal. Like, there's just
Right.
so much on it.
Yeah. His third and final question about the looping technique is do you ever use the looper for percussion, like tapping on the guitar for like a drum effect?
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
All the time. I
Okay.
actually bought I don't know if you're familiar with it or not. Um I don't know if you're familiar, but they're called drum pads, and
Yes.
there's all
Yes.
kinds of different brands. Roland makes one, but it's like $800, and I
Yeah.
can't spend $800 right now.
I don't know
But
who can.
yeah, Elisa's makes some affordable ones, and I've actually been looking at buying one of theirs just to upgrade. But I bought one called the Cat Percussion Pad, and it's just got some simple samples on there, like very simple. But they're drum beats, and I just plug that thing into my looper, and the looper has a built-in like click, and you can dial in your BPM, and I will just dial in my BPM on my looper, and then I will loop a drum beat onto the looper with the drum pad.
Right.
I played drums on the side. It's not my like main instrument, but it's something I do for fun. So I can play enough to where I can create beats. And so I'll create a beat live, and then I'll do bass or guitar, and then I'll just keep like layering. But
Right.
yeah, I mean, I have a few songs where I just use the preloaded drum beats that are on the looper, but I
Okay.
also create.
Right. Yeah. Well, the reason why he asked you those questions is because he's a drummer himself. That's his main instrument that he plays in. So I think you'll love your answers.
Yeah, tell him to check out one of those drum pads, and he can just hook it into a looper and create beats himself.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, and that gives you like a wider range of what you can do with it. I guess. Right. More beats or more
Yeah.
ideas come to you. Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. So while I was researching you, you said you were like like a one woman band, meaning you play guitar, you sing, and you have a Cajun that you play on with a drum pedal. Would you explain to our listeners what is a Cajun? Because I'm sort of familiar with it. My co-host has one, but I'm not really too sure what it is.
Okay. Well, it's actually pronounced cajon,
Okay, thank you.
and yeah, no, it's okay. It's a cajon, and it's the manual bass box, and
Okay,
it's perfect for a solo artist who is tired of not having that percussive beat. So I like having that percussive beat, because that, having a percussive beat is what gets people up dancing, and dancing
right.
equals tips.
Yeah,
So I'm all about that live.
yeah.
Um but yeah, I've got actually two different ones. I've got a manual kick, it's an analog kick box that plugs in with a 1/4 inch, and then I've got the manual bass box, and I actually will mic that with a usually like a kick drum mic, and I'll get like a nice kick thud sound. But I've got a pretty good PA, and it sounds awesome, and
Boom, right?
I play and sing and just like do the kick drum beat, and people love it. I don't, if you're doing music for a living, it's easier to make good money when it's just you. You're not having to split it like 2 or 3 other ways.
Right.
So that's why I became a one-woman band, because I am the drummer, the bass player, the singer, and the guitarist, and I get all the money. So, and it's just easy that way.
And
But
you
it's a
could
cool
argue,
little box.
yeah, and you can argue with yourself without feeling bad, right?
Exactly. Oh, I have conversations with myself
Oh,
on
I know.
stage
Yeah,
all the time.
yeah, yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
oh man, why did I do that? I should have done this, or oh, okay, let's do this one, this next. Okay, yeah, sure. So, you know,
Yeah, because I was watching a video of someone using the cajon now, and it seems like each spot is a different sound. Like the center of it's like the bass drum, and the two upper corners are like the snare. Am I
yeah, that's one
okay?
of
Yeah,
the, because there's a couple different cajones, but that's the box that people sit on. That's
right.
just
Yeah.
a regular cajon, and
Okay.
those top corners that they're playing, yeah, that's usually the snare sound, and then in the middle is where they get that bassy thump like sound.
Right.
And then I've got something that's still a cajon, but it's a cajon bass box, so it's a little
Okay.
different, but it's pretty much the same.
Now you the one you got. Do you still sit on that and just play it like the regular one, or is it like
No, yeah, it's completely different. It is like if you can just picture a black box with a kick drum pedal attached to it, and I mean that you sit down on a drum throne or a chair or whatever, and
Yeah.
then you just play it like a kick drum, just
Oh,
like
okay.
you would a kick drum.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice. Awesome. Awesome. So, I mentioned in your introduction to this podcast that you do weddings. Um,
Oh
so
yeah.
yeah. So, how does like bookings with you for weddings like work? Do they like obviously they research you, but like do you meet up with the bride and groom and say, okay, what songs do you want me to try to play for you? I mean, like, how does that all work?
Yeah, usually, people will hear about me through word of mouth, and I have a website. It's www.thechristinedemeo.com, and people can go on there, and if they like what I have to offer, they can send in an email request. They'll tell me the date that they want to do their wedding, and I'll confirm whether or not I'm available. And then I personally, I mean, I don't know how other bands do it, but I have a wedding questionnaire um, that I send over to them that gives me very specific details. Do I need to bring my own PA? Will there be electricity? And then I'll ask them, what song for the mother daughter dance? What song for this? Am I playing the reception? I mean, it's like I said, it's a detailed questionnaire. I have them fill that out, and then they send it up back to me. And that way it's all written down. Nobody can say, oh, well, I thought we said we were going to do this, and
You're like, nope,
everything is,
it's right here.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Everything's covered. And
right.
honestly, when it comes to weddings, you really want to do that with weddings, because if you don't, you can end up in the hot seat, because people get really crazy about weddings.
Yeah, yeah. I'm probably jealous, you know.
It's, yeah, it's their special day, and everything has to be just perfect, and I am
Right.
not gonna be in that situation, where I get screamed at, or oh, you didn't do this and blah blah blah. So I mean, that's basically what I'll do. And once I have all that information, a lot of the times, honestly, what I get hired to do is I get hired to do usually the wedding ceremony music,
Mhm.
and then I'll get hired to do like a cocktail hour before the DJ starts getting crazy. Now I have
Right.
gotten hired to do it all, and then
Oh, nice.
that's a lot of work, but it's a good payday. So
Yeah, yeah. Get that Taylor,
it's a
get
lot
that
of work though.
Martin. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
because Martins are holy crap. They're expensive, but they're so good.
Yeah.
Um, so has there been a wedding where you were just getting like reamed out of the scenes, and you're like, okay, I'm done with doing this for weddings? or like was every wedding like seamless?
No, I actually I had one wedding that I thought, oh my God, I bit off more than I could chew on this
No.
one.
Yeah.
Um, Luckily though, I had another musician friend that I had hired to come, and basically I just hired him to help me unload gear and set stuff up. He was like my errand boy. I was like, if I need something, he goes and gets it for me.
Right.
And because everything that could have went wrong, it went wrong. It seemed like at that wedding.
Yeah.
And I mean, but luckily enough years of, just experience and staying calm, cool, and collected under pressure, I was able to, get everything off the ground and smooth it out. What happened was on this one wedding, I told them, I said, I don't have DJ gear. Like, I don't do turntables. And what I'll do is I'll download all these songs to a Spotify playlist and I'll play them through my iPad. So I had went and downloaded all the songs. So it was saved to my device. And then for some reason, these songs would not play.
Oh no.
I couldn't get them.
Oh,
Yeah, I couldn't get them to load. And I mean, I was panicking. I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And just really quickly was able to think, okay, it's not working on my device. And I was able to get my guy that I'd hired, and I said, turn your hotspot on, because my hotspot on my phone wasn't working either for some reason. It was just like
of course not,
the
right?
weirdest stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and luckily his hotspot worked, and I was able to hook on. We were able to get the songs rolling, and everything worked out fine. But it was
Right.
just when stuff like that goes wrong for a wedding, it makes you panic. It's like, oh my
Yeah.
God. So it was tough. That one, I actually didn't book another wedding for a few months after that. It was stressed me out.
But the wedding you got after that, you kicked butt, right?
Oh yeah, they loved it. They didn't even know there was a problem, but it was a problem with me, and it bugged the heck out of me. So I was
Oh
just like,
no.
oh my gosh.
Yeah, your own worst enemy, as the famous saying goes. So you gotta
Yeah,
be
for
really.
sure.
So so knowing that you play cover songs also, and original songs, I think that would be like a bittersweet thing, because you want you want to play your songs so you get known for your own songs, but the fans want you to play the cover songs. Do you find it as a bittersweet thing, or do you find it as like an encouraging thing to get them in the doors to hear your songs?
I mean, I haven't been playing my originals for a while. I started off as a original artist only, and I thought, well, I'll never do covers. It was like it was beneath me. um, but honestly, seeing how I could make good money, here's the deal. Before I started playing cover songs, I was playing original gigs only. And it's just hard to make money off of your original music and to get paid for a show for your original music. And I got tired of being broke all the time. I was playing my music, and I was touring and playing guitar for a pop rock band, and we were just they would pay for our flights and stuff like that, but we weren't making any real money to take home. Maybe 75 to $100 like for a whole
Yeah.
weekend, and that's not enough to pay your bills. So I think I just kind of got sick of that, and once I kind of got tired of that and realized that I could make decent money playing covers, I became more okay with playing covers. And I will have people that ask for my originals and stuff, and that's cool. I'm down with that. Like it's fun to play, but even if I don't play my originals, it doesn't bother me.
Right.
I just enjoy playing music, honestly.
Nice. So growing up and enjoying music, I know you've had to go to several concerts, right? So what's your favorite concert you've ever been to, and why?
Ooh.
I know it's hard. But I've
That
seen
is
a lot of
hard.
concerts. Yeah, I've seen a lot of concerts in my time too.
Yeah. Let me think. Let me think. Let me think. I would honestly say I think one that sticks out to me just because it wasn't too long ago, but I went and saw Journey play,
Nice.
and they were awesome.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Journey fan,
Well,
and Neil Sean, he's he's an old guy, but he was like shredding that guitar still.
right. Yeah.
Um,
I mean, they can slow you down, you know.
yeah, they're super talented, and it was just cool getting to see him play. That and I liked the Dixie Chicks. I actually went and saw the Dixie Chicks, and
Nice.
they were pretty awesome too. So
Yeah, I'm not sure which would be my favorite concert. I think it would be Gore. If you never heard of them, I mean, I'm sure you've heard of them, but once or twice. But they do like an amazing show. They squirt water on you, and make it look like blood and everything. It's a fantastic show. And I think Megadeth puts on a fantastic show. I don't
oh,
know which one is
nice.
my favorite one because I've seen country music. I've seen metal acts, blues acts. It's all one big giant blur. But sometimes you have those concerts where you're like, I remember this, and this. This was great.
Yeah.
So,
No,
so
that's
in
awesome.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, so I made a lot of I made a lot of musicians too. So that's one thing that I really like to do all to them, you know. So
Yeah.
and in 2013, you released your first EP called "Falling," and then the other EP called "Shotgun" came out in 2018. Um, what was your inspiration for writing those songs on those two EPs? Because I feel like 2013's Fallen and Shotgun is two separate things because on Fallen it's like you talk about like love love and everything, and then on Shotgun you have various things like you have like a party song, you got the Shotgun song which is great, I love it, and then you have the like a blue song. So were these times of your life that you really wanted to catch on the album itself?
Oh yeah. Well, 2013, I wrote "Fallen." I was, I mean, it's what every artist writes about love. I was
Right,
going through a crazy, just up and down relationship, and it was my one way to just get it all out and
right. Yeah.
really
Like
express
like
how
a
I
relief.
feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I took inspiration from at least three artists for sure. Sarah Bareilles. I had some Maroon 5, and um, let's see, what was the other one? Oh my gosh, I just drew a blank. But well, those two for sure. Oh,
Yeah.
John Mayer. I
Yeah.
really took a lot of inspiration from those three. And just kind of wrote about what the stuff that was bothering me, and I think that's probably one of my most popular EPs still. Um People just really seem to relate to it. Now, the Shotgun EP was, obviously later, and
Yeah.
I wrote a lot of those songs in hopes that a up and coming country band would pick them up.
Oh,
They Yeah, gosh, I can't even remember their names now. It's been so freaking long ago.
yeah.
But yeah, I wrote hoping that I could toss a couple of their way and see if they wanted to pick any of them up. And I also just wanted to write some music that was just fun. Shotgun is just a fun song. I wrote it about
Yeah.
a group of
Okay.
girls. They used to come out and watch me play at the bar, and they would drink and get drunk and dance, and the soberest one would drive home, obviously. And
Right.
so I kind of wrote that about them. I thought it was funny, and We'll Bring the Party is another one that was getting kind of shopped to some different artists. Um, and I wrote that one pretty much about my life, of just like, as a musician, as a cover artist, I guess you could say, especially, you play music to please. You're playing music to get a crowd up and pumped up and having a good time. And I'm sorry, but if you're playing these sad songs all night long, people are going to get bored and leave. And so I
Yeah.
wanted to just write a song about having fun, getting off work, getting ready to have a drink, and to just like kick back and relax and party your butt off, basically. So that's I wrote that album just about having a good time and trying to shop a couple songs to some new artists.
Yeah, I mean, music should be fun first and foremost, And if you're not enjoying music, then I mean, you're right. I mean, if you're not enjoying music, you won't have a fan base that'll follow you, So you gotta make music
for sure.
Them too. So, speaking of your fans, how do you get the fans who come to your live events to interact with you and the band if you have other members with you?
I every now and then I do play with a trio. Honestly, I think it comes back to playing music that you enjoy as an artist, which
Right.
I will not play stuff that I despise unless somebody wants to just like tip me out the butt for it. And I mean,
Right.
I want to have a good time too. Like I want to enjoy what I'm doing, so I'm going to play songs that I enjoy,
Right.
So, and I enjoy a wide variety of music, luckily. I don't like to just stick in one genre. So, I think that's part of the appeal for a lot of my fan base, is that they know that if they come out to one of my shows, that I'm going to play just a wide variety of music. It's going to be fun. I'm going to talk to them while I'm on stage. We're going to do hollers and swallers where we all get a shot and we drink together or something. I mean, it's just going to be a fun time.
That's
And
nice.
I think that's what every audience wants. I think people want to know that they're going to have a connection with the artist that they're coming to see,
Right. Right. Yeah.
I had a worship pastor friend when I used to go to church that told me, Christine, you need to look out into the audience and sing. And I'm just like, why does it matter? He's like, people aren't coming to do, this concert or whatever, praise and worship, just to watch you stare at your shoes or your music on your stand. Like they want to see you and make eye contact with you and feel like they're having a connection. So
Right.
it
Yes.
makes
Connect
sense.
automatically. Right. Yeah. Because I know that I think Jim what's his name, Jim Morrison, couldn't look at the crowd for a long time, before he finally got the the nerve to turn around and, hey, there's people here. I get, So
Yeah.
Yeah. So
For sure.
So how long did it take you to actually look at the crowd out there? Or like were you just like, okay, I can do this, or did it like take you to like build up to do it?
It probably took me a little build up to get there, honestly. It's intimidating.
Right.
If most artists are not actually the most outgoing people sometimes, and I know for me, I was kind of shy. I was just like, "Oh man, I have to actually talk to people." So,
Yeah.
it's scary to be the one up there and everybody's looking at you and talking to you and wanting to hear what you have to say. So I would say I definitely built up to it for a
Right.
certain amount, for sure.
Right. Well, so our last question for you, Miss Christine, is so this podcast is called When Words Fail, Music Speaks, and I don't think that can be any further from the truth. So is there one song that you can think of that you can't, that when you listen to it, you feel something in you, but you can't explain how you feel it to, say, me or your best friend or your mom or your dad? Is there one song that you get, that you can hear, that really means so much to you. You can't really explain what it does to you.
Oh gosh. You know what? I don't care. I'm gonna throw it out there.
Yeah.
I really like the song, and I just really like it. Is by Melissa Etheridge, and it's called "Like the Way I Do."
Okay.
And if you haven't seen or heard it, like, just I think it's because I watched the YouTube video
Right.
of her doing it live, and
Yeah.
just her live concert where everybody was just like, "Yeah!" I love those moments when the crowd's just super into it and everybody's, like, connecting. It's super cool.
Yeah. I love Melissa Etheridge too. She's an amazing artist. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so thank you very much, Miss Christine. And to get her on, for the listeners listening in right now, you can find her anywhere you have social media. She's on SoundCloud, Reverb Nation, Facebook, and Instagram under the name The Christine DeMeo. DeMeo, that's DEMEO, and she has a YouTube account, and I'll post a link below. And she is also on Twitter under Christine DeMeo also. So, do you find Twitter to be kind of weird? Because I don't really understand Twitter that much. So,
Yeah.
which one would be your preferred social media?
Honestly, Instagram or Facebook, at the Christine DeMeo, those would be the ones I'm pretty active on Instagram and Facebook. I'm
Right.
trying to build up my YouTube channel more. I just haven't done
Yeah.
it too much, but hopefully have some more content coming out there soon.
And as always, go check her out her website at the Christine DeMeo also. I'm sure you can get updates on where she's playing next, on where you can buy her albums. All of her social media accounts are on there, so it's a good time. Yeah.